Great, so welcome back to grade 7 math. We are now on chapter 6.6, which is on the subtraction of integers. Subtraction. And using counters. So we've already looked at counters before when we looked at addition, and so now we're just going to look at it using subtraction. So we'll just do a little bit of review with integer addition, and then we'll just continue on with subtraction afterwards. So if we would just remind ourselves of the zero principle worked that one red and one yellow canceled each other out. And so that means their net result, or what happens when you have a red and a yellow, equals 0. And I can have many of these. If I have 100 reds and 100 yellows, it would still be equal to 0 because they would each partner up, because they're exactly the same distance on the number line from 0. So let's start. In this case, I have 4 reds, which represents positive 4. I'm going to be adding 5 reds, which represents positive 5. Now notice something here, that I don't have any yellows, so which means that none of these counters would pair up, so none of them would cancel out. So in this case then, my final answer would be positive 9, because I'm just adding all my red counters together. In the case where we have different colors, so the second one, I have positive 4 again, so positive 4 is 4 red counters, and now I'm adding 5 yellow counters. And what happens with that is that for each red cancels out or partners up with a yellow, and that equals 0. So every red and yellow partner up. So I'm just left with this one yellow. So that means my answer is -1. This happens because all of the reds, or all of the reds that exist in this problem, partner up with existing yellows, and there's one left over to make an answer of -1. Integer subtraction is slightly difficult with counters because you have to imagine on the side that we have these imaginary couples of counters that are already paired up. So we're going to put these red and yellow counters on the side, and we're just going to call these the just-in-case counters. We'll just put them on the side because we might use them if we need to. So I'll just put these counters circled. They're kind of like dancing on the side and their partners, and we'll use them if we need them. So in this case of subtraction, I'm not putting things together, I'm actually removing things. So the removal of counters is quite difficult, because what I do is I look at the first number, which means I'm starting at positive 4. So I'm showing 4 counters. Now take away means that I am removing. So I'm not actually going to draw anything, I'm just going to remove. So I'm going to take away 5 red counters. So here I took away 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. I don't have any more red counters. However, I look at my bank of my dancers on the side, my just-in-case counters, and I'll steal one, or I'll take one away of that extra one that I need, because I needed to subtract 5. So now that I have my, I took away my 4, and I took away now my 5th, that means this one yellow that's all by itself is left over, so that means my answer is -1. So I'm left over, I just have this one counter left over, which is this one right there. So because of that one leftover counter, I didn't really need to draw the rest of these pairs of the just-in-case ones. I could have just drawn this one and removed that one red to leave that one yellow. So that's how subtraction of counters work. So now let's take a look at this one where I have positive 4 counters. So I'm just going to draw my 4 red counters here. The computer's a little slow changing colors. So if I draw my 4 red counters, and the question is, I need to take away 5 yellow counters. The problem is I don't have any yellow counters. So I need to go to my just-in-case bank. So let me just create that first. Yellow Great, so my 4 red counters right here. So this is positive 4, and I'm going to, it says to take away 5 yellow counters. So I'm going to take away 5 yellow counters. Well, I don't have any here, but I do have some in my just in case. So my just in case ones, and remember, I could have as many of these just in case couples because they're all equal to 0. I could have had 100 of these, 1,000 of these, or in this case just 5. I'll take away 5 yellows, so 5 yellows I remove, which means I am equal to, now I have my 4 original red ones, and now I have these 5 red ones that no longer have their partners anymore. So now that's an extra plus 5, which means my answer is positive 9. So just to recap subtraction of integers might require that you just remove the number that you already have. However, if you need to borrow, you might need to borrow from the bank of just in case, zero principal, dancing pairs. I'm not sure how you want to call them, but these pairs, you can bring in as many as you need and cancel out the ones that you need to get the leftover number of counters. So we'll take a look at a couple of examples in class. I hope you understood this lesson.